Welcome to the Community Forum. My name is John Galatino. I'm your host. This evening we're going to be talking about a subject that's dear to my heart, the Danbury Aquinas Club. I want to have full disclosure here. I'm a member of that club. And with me this evening is Paul Queso. He's the president this year, and we're going to be going over our entire year and what Aquinas stands for and all those good things. So thanks for tuning in. And I want to welcome you to the show,
good
Paul.
To see you. How are you?
Okay. First of all, what does Aquinas mean?
Well, I think it depends who you talk to. A lot of people have some slightly different...
well, years ago, what I was told is it means making happy noise.
Yeah, I've heard making loud, happy noise, and making noise is a group. Yes.
Happy, in other words, having a happy
It's a
result,
Native American term.
As opposed to going to jail with, because you're making too much noise.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
So
and we make plenty of noise in that club.
Yeah, it's a happy noise. Okay, so the Danbury Aquinas Club was started about 1942, the summer of 42. It's just like the movie. Mm-hmm. That's how I remember that. And how many members are there?
We fluctuate around 40 right now.
Okay.
Some obviously more active than others. But we had a membership drive last year that was, I'd say, very successful. We brought in a number of newer, younger members, which is really great for the club. I think we're all happy to see some young blood to help toe the line a little bit.
Right. Now, what's the special emphasis of the club?
Plainly put, John, we raise money to help children in need, be it mostly in the community, but also we have regional projects, national projects, and even international projects. We teamed up iodized salt in third world countries and helped basically wipe a disease off the face of the planet, formerly known as iodine deficiency disorder. And you have to go some pretty rural parts of the country to still find that disease. That was long before I was a member of the club.
Right.
But a lot of the money we raise and a lot of the good we do stays local, but we have other projects all over the country and world as well.
Now, as a result of that special emphasis, we have something called the Key Club, and that's a group of young Kiwanians, you could say,
sure.
Like junior Kiwanians, and they're in most of the area high schools. Can you rattle off where they are?
I don't want to.
Well, I can help you.
Yeah, I know you can. We picked up Ridgefield when the Ridgefield Club went. We have Danbury, New Milford, Bethel, and Newtown.
Yeah, Newtown.
Right. Okay.
And New Fairfield.
New Fairfield. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got most of them.
Yeah.
I'm new.
And then we got Ridgefield. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we're able to really leverage ourselves with the work that the Key Clubs do. They're a great group of kids, and it's nice to see them periodically at our events, and they do a lot of good for each Kiwanian. There's probably 5 or 10 Key Clubbers, so the leverage is really, really great. It allows us to help contribute to a lot of good things.
So they help the club and each town as we have different things that go on in the towns. So that makes us like a regional club.
Very much so. In fact, there's some talk in the club to change the name or do some kind of a DBA for the Aquinas Club of Greater Danbury, which would be more reflective of who we are and what we do. I think roughly.
So the 40 is the 40 is roughly divided about half, right?
I think so. Without looking, and obviously some are more active than others. But yeah, we have members from right over the border in New York, a few members from New Milford, all over the Greater Danbury area. So.
Right. So about half in Danbury and half around.
Mm-hmm. I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where's the club now meeting?
We meet at Chuck's every Tuesday at 12:15, and yeah, we've been meeting there since I was a member.
And people are going to understand it's not just one party. You have a lunch and then you have a speaker.
That's right.
And some business.
That's right.
It starts at 12:15 and it finishes at 1:30 promptly.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
Now you had some presidential goals that you wanted to cover. What are some of the things that you'd like to cover?
Well, I'd like to leave the club a little differently than I found it. We kicked around the idea since I'd been on the board a few years about becoming a 501c3. And I think my first or second board meeting, we were able to get that off the ground. And it looks like, fortunately, we have some lawyers and some accountants in the club, which is very helpful. We've got the paperwork in order to start the Greater Danbury Kiwanis Foundation, basically a separate corporation which would allow us to operate as a 501c3, which will really help the club grow. It'll help us attract some corporate sponsorships and hopefully some corporate members.
Right.
We're a club chock full of insurance agents, landscapers, small business owners, retired persons, realtors, bankers, as these types of clubs typically are.
Right.
And we'd really like to make the club more accessible to corporate people that don't necessarily work in the area but live in the area and care about the community. By having more breakfast meetings, after-work events, things like that, we'd like to go in that direction, and we tried it last year under the last administration with some success. The core group went with it, which I was very glad to see. Some of the people that have been coming to lunch every Tuesday since I was in nursery school, I was worried weren't going to change, but they did. They were coming to the night meetings. It's a nice change of pace, and so we're hopeful that changing with the times will allow us to get members that we historically would not have been able to attract.
Now, you might even try breakfast meetings, right?
That's right. That's right. No, we do. An informal one, once a week this time of year. So.
Yeah. We do have, as a segue, we do have well, we're going to talk about that later, a major project, which is a breakfast.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go through the planned year, so to speak, like on a month-to-month basis, as much as you can remember. Now, you started in October. There was a charter night, which is like the anniversary of when the first club meeting was held and organized, and that's like the annual meeting, right?
Yes, and that's when people change hands and presidents pass the gavel.
Pass the gavel and awards are done.
Yeah, we recognize people for all the, and it's not. I enjoy Charter Night because you really remember all the things we did throughout the years.
Right.
Someone's getting a certificate for something that was done 10 months ago, and you feel, I forgot we did that.
Right.
And it's nice to really be recognized and see those recognized that put a lot of their time in, and reminds, I think, everyone in the club about the important work we do.
It's a good historical night. It tells you what all of the things.
And this year we had Senator Mike McLaughlin come with our charter, which he found in his attic, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they put it someplace for safekeeping. I guess they forgot where it was.
Yeah, but that turned up, and so we've since gotten that framed, and that's going to hang in the room there in Chuck's for all time, which is very nice.
Yeah, that's very good. So that was in October, and then in November...
Well, late October, we did Halloween on the Green.
The Halloween on the Green.
We worked with City Senator Danbury, one of our Kiwanians, Matt Rose, very quietly heads that up, does a great job with it. I was a new president, figure out which way was up, and Matt just took it and ran with it, which was great.
Well, he's been doing it for a few years.
I know he has. So he did a great job with that, and then...
then you, in the month of November...
November might have...
It was a planning month.
It was a planning.
You have your regular meetings, which are every week, and then you have your board meeting, and you're planning for the big month of December, where you did.
We teamed up with the Danbury Whalers. The owner Herm Sorcher and I put together a really great plan we helped him sell tickets, and he helped us by promoting the club that night. I got out on the ice and spoke in front of a lot of hockey fans.
Did you ever ride the Chibone? I didn't go that night.
I couldn't get on the Zamboni.
The Zamboni,
Something about insurance reasons. Maybe you should talk to you about that.
I would have gone on that night if I had gotten on the Zamboni. No, I had to go somewhere else.
Everybody asked him that. But that was a great event, and I think that that's a good thing for Danbury to have, and we were glad to partner with them, and we hope that the Whalers will have us back next year, because we got our feet wet this year, but it was a great event.
Oh, the ice wasn't really... Sorry.
That's okay.
That was a bad
I knew
joke.
who I was sitting down with.
That's okay. Now, there was the Christmas party, and then the regular meetings.
Yep. And then now with the weather, we missed the board meeting, of course. We missed, we're in that time of year where it's tough to get things done, but we're...
well, sometimes you go to board meetings, you do get snowed there anyway, but that was a bad joke. Okay. But board meetings, a lot of planning is done for the following month.
Yeah, absolutely.
So some of the upcoming things that are coming...
well, we are proud. For a few years, we'll get into our breakfast in a minute. We're really proud of the way... Breakfast was your idea, as a word on the street. It started small. But we've had almost 40 tables at the Amber Room, I think, for the last couple of years. It's a great event. It's a lot of fun. From what people say, they really look forward to it, which is what we go for, because a lot of the people that go to these types of things go to a lot of these types of things. And we try to keep it interesting, keep it new, get them out by 9, all the things that matter.
Keep it short.
Yeah, keep it short.
7:30 to 9.
That's right. And so it's been good. It's been a growing event, and we're planning on that. That's going to be this spring.
Late April.
Again at the Amber Room. Yeah, I think late April, early May.
Right.
And that'll be a good event, and hopefully we'll...
And that gets the entire membership involved, because there's different things that have to be done. You got the ad book that starts early, then you got the tables, organizing the tables.
Oh, there's a lot that goes into these things.
And then the entire program, sometimes you start from scratch. You got to get an outside 5-minute, kind of a speaker or whatever.
And now he's reminded me how much work I have to do. I shouldn't say that.
Well, no, you got committee people.
Yeah, well, Foster Crawford really takes the breakfast and
bull
runs
by the
with it,
horn,
which is great. But we've had a signature fundraiser for a few years now, and now we're excited to be teamed up with Danbury Youth Services with their Earn a Bike program. That program was in a little bit of trouble, and we had a good relationship with them in the past. Several of our Kiwanians are involved with them, with the Danbury Youth Services as well, so it was a natural partnership there.
So they're going to be doing some mentoring on
we're going to, we've helped them financially, and now we're looking forward to hopefully rolling up our sleeves and helping with the program. But it's a great program. It's very local. You could argue it combats childhood obesity, which is becoming a big issue, and it's a program we did not want to see perish in Danbury, and so we were glad to step up and with our recent success and help them and work together. So very glad the board unanimously passed that, which I was very happy to see.
Okay. Now that's just starting up.
Yeah, and I can't wait to learn more about it. Hopefully you'll be able to get someone to come talk about that event, or as it draws closer.
If somebody is out there and saying, "Hey, this sounds like a pretty good deal," what would be a telephone number they can call to get some more information on?
They could call
Kiwanis?
My office, 203-744-5025 would get me on the phone.
Right.
We have
and then there's an open invitation to come by and just to sit through and as our guests.
Yeah.
On most Tuesdays we're there, which is Tuesday at 12:15.
And I have an email that I designate just for Kiwanis, which is Kiwanis@psclandscaping.com. Kiwanis@psclandscaping.com, and that way goes into a special folder, and I can address those when I have a minute. But hopefully someone at home will. There's a lot to do in the community, a lot of people that need help, and I've benefited personally and professionally from being in the club. There's no secret there. A lot of the people that come really get as Foster says, when you get out in the community and do good things happen to you. And I've seen it time and time again in that club.
Right. Now, if somebody were interested in working with the Key Club, is there a role for them to be involved with the Key Club?
Yeah, I believe so. We have some Key Club advisors, and that's not an easy job. We're trying to work on ways to get the communication better between the...
So there's somebody for each high school, or you could have,
person, yes.
Or you can have two also, because they're... In some cases, they're pretty large groups. Like Danbury's over 100 members. And New Milford's up there also. So there's room for additional people to help out.
There's plenty to do. And I had a young woman who's been visited a few times, expressing an interest in coming to visit us and maybe joining. And she said to me, "Well, I only want to join if there's something I can do to help." And I said, "Oh yeah, there's plenty to do. There's absolutely plenty to do." So
there's a few of them we missed. For example, we do bell ringing for the Salvation Army. And there's now you can do that with several different organizations, but we feel that
we do that through the Salvation Army, right? They set it up, and we're glad to do that.
We do the bell ringing and help them out, and we did the toy drive. We missed that one.
Yeah. We're not necessarily going chronologically, I guess, as they come up. But we don't want to miss anything. Yeah, the toy drive was really successful this year. We had them at Lombardi Realty and a few Union Savings Banks, if I'm not mistaken, and a few, again, that's something a few Kiwanians, Matt helps a lot with that, did a great job with. And
we had some locations replaced and then unwrapped toys. And,
and it really worked out well.
A record number of toys.
And this year we found a new place to bring them, the clinic on Main Street, and the people there were really glad to have them. And in fact, when they were there, they mentioned that books are in shortage in some of these children's lives. And I mean, my kid at home has 3 shelves this big, and we take it for granted. So we're going to probably do a book drive for them at some point, because I know so many young parents that their kids grow out of different books and they just don't really use them.
They're not
anymore.
using them, and it's time to recycle.
So I think we can drum up a lot of kids' books, and I think that, I had so many in my house growing up, but there's some kids that don't have any books in their house.
So there's something for you folks out there. If you are looking for a place for children's books, we're going to be doing a book drive pretty soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's that number again?
744-5025 will get me on the phone.
Okay, and then the email once again.
Kiwanis@psclandscaping.com.
Okay. Now, let's see. Go over. I mentioned we had 4. What are some of the occupations again that we're actually looking? We're actually looking for. We've got real estate. We have insurance, but there's all kinds of.
There are certainly those voids in the club that would be nice to have someone that was involved in PR, because that's been a tough thing
Right.
to get. It's good PR.
And we are looking for the corporate person.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
You know, even if it's only once a month that they can come. Because we were talking about we didn't mention the Wishers initiative.
I think I didn't mention it by name, but we had a member that was a member before I was Aquinas. I never met Tom Wishers, but
right.
Tom was not able to make our Tuesday meetings, and but he was active. If there was a clean up the park day Saturday morning, he was there. Evening meeting, charter night, the breakfast, you know, he was there.
Yeah.
And so in his memory, we've called it the Wishers Initiative, to try and bring people in from the community who care about the community but can't make Tuesday lunches, because I think that's been limiting our club just by not everybody has bosses as nice as we do,
right,
that allow us to goof off with our friends every Tuesday.
Now, have you grown as a Aquinas president? Now, you're getting up there and you're actually more talkative than you were before. I mean, you were talkative before. You can't. No one can ever say you were shy, but you're getting. You seem to be growing into the position of leader. You know, with the gavel and.
Well, yeah, it's been interesting. I came into the position a little ahead of schedule because I have not been Aquanian long, and that was my biggest concern, taking the reins. I told my predecessor Foster, I said, look, I'm an active Quanian, but I'm not a well-rounded Quanian.
Yeah.
I got involved in certain things, rolled my sleeves up, but I didn't know everything there was to know about the club. So I'm getting an education. I'm trying to be more well-rounded.
Well, you had 2 years. I barely had 3 when I got in. So
yeah,
that's what happens.
Like. Yeah.
They usually move you to the front.
They did. I didn't say no quickly enough. So, in fact, tomorrow I'm going to South Street School. Are you going back tomorrow?
South Street, not scheduled for tomorrow.
But South Street School, we're doing something called Bugs.
Yeah,
program.
we missed that, right?
Bringing upgrades. There's so much, and that's the thing.
Being upgrades.
Bringing upgrades, and South Street School, we have a few 5th grade classes, and Jennifer and Foster work together on that. And so what they've asked club members to come in and do is talk to these kids about what it took to get where we are, and how important it is to study. And it's interesting to talk to 5th graders. First of all, they're a lot smarter than I thought. More mature, maybe, is a better way to put it.
Yeah, when I spoke last week or the week before, I was surprised that I thought they were going to be like 2nd graders or whatever.
No.
They're very
Their
talkative.
questions were very mature. When I said, what do you think are some of the downsides about owning your own business? They had some really good ideas for 5th graders. I mean, everything from liability issues and things like that.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting. And the one thing I stressed to these kids was the stuff you're learning now, the stuff we use every day. High school, trigonometry, calculus, advanced algebra. You have to learn it to get into college, and then you have to get through it in college. But the stuff you're learning now, kids, pay attention, because it's that 5th grade math that we use every single day. So get good at it.
It must be that computer that they have that we didn't have when we were in the 5th grade.
That must be it.
Because they go on there.
But I said when I was leaving there, that was my most rewarding experience as a Quanian, to actually stand in front of a group of kids and do that. That was enjoyable.
There wasn't a kid in the room that didn't ask me a question.
Yeah.
I was like all over. I thought I was in a press conference.
Yeah, I had to lean on some of the shy ones a little more, but they came around. It was fun. It was a good time.
Yeah.
So
some of the other things you're planning on. I'm sure there's another thing that you might have.
I had a lot of goals. The Wishers thing was one of them. The 501c3 was one of them. Being better about building lists of who comes and goes and reaching out to people using technology, things like that. I had a long list, and now I'm trying to hone in on the important ones that take a while. I actually agreed that if I could get the 501c3 through, that I would do 2 years as president, because from what I understand, it takes about 8 months. So I don't want to hand something over, and I didn't get it approved for a month. You don't hand over a 2-month-old baby to somebody. You have to make sure that we know what we're doing. We have to change the way we do our board meetings, for example. We have to close one and open a next.
Right.
So there's a lot of procedural things that we're going to need to learn as a club, and I want to see that through. So I'm going to do 2 years, which.
Well, that's good, because what you learn the first year, then you can implement the second year. So.
Yeah.
And,
it's going quick too.
Look at it this way: people in the legislature are in there for 2 years. So.
That's right. So no, I think it was the right move for the club, and I want to leave it very different than I found it. I think I'm going to do a good job of that.
Okay, so you figure about 8 months, and then there's going to be an active
separate. Now, the reason we have to go with a separate entity, there's certain things in our charter, which I'll get. It's actually a good segue.
Yeah.
there's social aspects to our charter which disqualify us for becoming a 501c3. So we would have to separate the Kiwanis Foundation, if you will.
Yeah, that'd be a separate corporation.
Entity, because that money is sacred and it can't, with our eating and dining and our goofing off and stuff like that.
That would come out of the administrative account where donations from a company they go into
separate corporation.
The separate corporation.
And so that'll be. That's
and it's easier to ask corporations for monies or entities for monies because it's totally separated from
and that leads me to a point that I wanted to make sure I made. I know we have a lot to talk about, only 28 minutes, but the issue of the fact that we're not all work and no play. Between poker nights and clam bakes and things like that.
Yeah, we got to talk about the clam bake and.
These are good times. The poker nights, although I think we got snowed out of our first one this year, but it's a lot of fun. It's a great group of people, and I like that it's a diverse.
They're nickels, right?
Yeah, I go a little higher than that, but it's all in good fun, and it's a nice game of poker, and we have a good time. So it's been great. I joined the club. What have I been 3 years now, and it's been a positive experience for me, and I'm glad to. Be forced to be president and have to, like you said. I mean, you do grow. I mean, you've done it. You've been at the helm of a lot of different organizations, and if you can manage volunteers, you can manage anybody. Because
it gives you better management skills. So you're a better speaker. You're better at managing things, and hopefully your business gets a little better too because of the exposure.
I've met a lot of people in the club that have definitely, as I like to say, we all look out for each other. We all look out for each other, so that's been great.
So that's another argument for people out there getting
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's, we all, as I said before, you do good things and good things happen to you, and it's people you otherwise never would have met. And if I've learned nothing else, navigating a business through some pretty choppy waters over the last few years is just getting out and meeting people.
Especially the last 3 years.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Getting out and meeting people who you otherwise never would have met. Right. Is a way to succeed and thrive when others are having trouble. And there's a lot of people in the club. When the world was really falling apart in 2008, I had just joined the club, and it was so nice every Tuesday to go to lunch and be surrounded with positive people.
And be like, it's like in a bay. There's a storm raging on the ocean. You pull into the bay, and the waters are calm there.
It was very nice to just have a positive group of people to surround myself with and know that we were all looking out for each other. It's a club. It's a good group of people.
Right. So now, talk about some of the things that happen at Kiwanis. We have
walk them through a typical meeting, maybe.
Like we tell jokes.
We do a lot of things in memory of former members. So we've got. We do a Deming Minute named after, what was it, Bob Deming?
Bob Deming.
I didn't know Bob Deming, but he
used to say, tell jokes like, what did one strawberry say to the other? No, I won't get into that.
Very dry. So we
I forgot about the
we ring the bell, we say the Pledge of Allegiance, and we and then
we have happy dollars.
Yes. Then we go around with happy dollars, which you could say, I'm happy because my kid graduated, with honors, and I'm happy because the Yankees lost, and just things like that. And so that's just a fun way to raise a few bucks, and then we just go through club business. And sometimes, sometimes I don't even get to eat my salad because we're so busy.
Yeah.
And then other times, there's plenty of time to get to visit and relax.
And then you have a speaker.
Typically, almost always.
We have a business meeting the first Tuesday, but we have a speaker for different walks of life.
And that's been great. I mean, I've heard judges talk. I've heard the airport administrator came. I mean, I've lived a few miles from Danbury Airport my whole life. I didn't realize how
busy
integral part of the community it was, and that was really interesting. And now every time I drive by it, I have a new appreciation for what goes on there. So very random and very interesting. And some local business owners, occasionally a chiropractor comes in. So it's a nice, Newell Wan does a good job of bringing in different speakers, and you just learn about something that you otherwise never would have gotten a glimpse into.
Yeah, sometimes it's like E.F. Hutton. If there's things are going on and everybody quiets down to listen to whatever.
Absolutely. And we've had some great speakers. So it's, again, you never know what you're going to get, but it's always entertaining. And
it's like a box of chocolates.
That's
you never know.
Forrest Gump, right?
Forrest Gump, right?
That's right.
Okay, so there's those things, and then we have the speakers, and I've run into a lot of social service projects that I wouldn't have thought of that have come by way of the speakers program.
Sure.
You know, finding out about the women's center, the regional center, I forget what it's called.
My friends from the Danbury Animal Welfare Society came, talked about what they're doing, the direction they're going.
Yeah. I wouldn't have known about DAWs if it weren't for the fact that they came and spoke
at Kiwanis, right?
Yeah.
And again, if again, for people listening at home, if you're trying to get in front of influential people in the community to come and speak to the Kiwanis Club, on average you'll have 20 sets of eyes and ears on you for about a half an hour, and for free, basically, and you get a free lunch. But again, when you look at advertising and getting out in the community, you can't beat that because we're always looking for people in the community to learn what's going on, whether it's business, charity work, anything.
We've even had politicians come in and tell us this is what's going on in the city.
Yeah, last year we had both mayoral candidates come in. Absolutely.
Right. We've had people from the at the state level, the state representatives, State Senator McLaughlin is
he's a proud Kiwanian,
a member.
Yeah.
Anyway, in fact, he started as a key clubber.
That's right.
Years ago.
That's right.
And
every year at our breakfast, you can catch Mike giving out the Key Club Awards, which is really great. It's good to have him as a member.
Right. So we've got a couple of minutes, maybe in give like a summary of.
Well, I guess I would spend my last couple minutes just making sure everyone knows they're welcome to come by, and contact info again. I have a separate special email address set up. It's Kiwanis@PSD Landscaping, and then I can put some membership people in touch, send more information. But there's a lot to do. We do a lot of good in the community right here in the greater Danbury area. We have the Tufts, Kiwanis Pediatric Trauma Institute regionally, all kinds of stuff to get involved in.
That's with Hartford Hospital, but also in Boston.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things we do.
That's our regional club. But again, in 28 minutes, I know we tried to really condense everything. I think we did an okay job.
We did a good job.
Covered a lot of ground. But yeah, I just want to make sure everyone knows they're welcome to come check out what we do. And there's
that we meet at Chuck's 12:15 on Tuesdays.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
And we got a minute to go, and everybody is welcome to come to Kiwanis. Doesn't make any difference how old you are.
No, we're a diverse group. We've got people all different shapes, sizes, colors, and genders, and it's a wonderful, wonderful group of people. And if you're looking to meet new people and get out in the community and do some good, love to have you for lunch.
Okay. So I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you. You were right. This was a little more painless than I thought.
Yes. And I want to thank the viewers for tuning in to the Community Forum. Tune in next week, same time, same station, and we'll see you then. Good night for now, and see you then.